Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Savinsky, and welcome to another DC Mentors V blog. Did you know that meeting your patients halfway is not nearly far enough? When I talk to doctors, they have an idea that patient-centered care is about meeting people halfway and then having them meet you on your ground, when actually it means that you haven't gone far enough. Let me give you an example. In my town where I practice, there was a chiropractic practice well known in the area, and the entrance to this mausoleum, so to speak, this entrance to this clinic had these large stone steps. They were very wide, up to a very almost a platform stage entrance way. And I looked at the doctor one day in my naivety and I asked him how on earth could he have such high steps and a long stairwell to get to the office, because they don't walk really well. He looked at me as if I was crazy and that I'd missed the whole point, and he said very directly to me, well, patients need to step up in order to get chiropractic. Wow. I think the attitude of arrogance and neglect that Jim Collins talks about in his books Good to Great, and why some of the businesses and professions that were good and went great are no longer great, is that we've missed this point of meeting people more than halfway. And meeting people more than halfway looks a little subtle at first. It may not be those big steps and barriers, but it is an attitude, because attitudes then form the behaviors of how you would interact with the patient. Let me give you a couple examples, because if I gave you an entire list of all the attitudinal and behavioral things that cause patients to not be able to reach towards you because you're expecting them to reach more than halfway to you, then we'd be here for a long while. The three common ones that I can see just in the last week is expecting patients to meeting you halfway by being willing to learn everything that you want to teach. Meeting you halfway could be the attitude that a patient needs to be so committed to the care plan that you have designed for them that if they miss an appointment or two, then it's not meeting you halfway, and you start to distance yourself and start to, in a very real sense, pull away from the relationship. Yes, people are going to miss appointments. They have busy lives. They have lives outside, and yes, what you're doing with them is important to them, but there are other things that get in the way. Life does happen to people. And another common attitudinal change that creates a behavior is the expecting idea, the expecting them to change the way they are exercising, to change the way they were eating, to change the way they're sleeping, to change the way they're sitting, to change the way they're walking, to change the way they're being, and the ing syndrome goes on and on. Do those things need to be addressed? Yes. But to hear the attitude is that I tell you this, you should do this. That's the idea of meeting you halfway. When in fact, if you want to create an extraordinary patient-centered business, you go to the patient's center, not hold your center and expect them to come to it. So going more than halfway, because you know the way. It won't pull you off balance to go sit next to them for a moment and listen. Listen to what they want from you. So you want to close this gap between their why and your why. You have a why because you're passionate about helping people. They have a why because they have a specific problem they want your help with. They haven't asked you to change everything in their world, their emotions, their nutrition, their complete programs. Very few patients want that. They're very specific about what they want. That's you listening to that and getting their agenda, not your agenda of what they should be. The second part of moving into more than halfway and meeting them where they are in their center, so that you are patient-centered, is also the concept of meeting and listening whether or not you want to help them, and can you passionately serve their why and achieve what they want to achieve. So you've got to make that decision. And it could be that you are a concierge, that you would be doing one thing with them, but maybe recommending they see another strategy in addition. But it's that idea of, do I really want and can I really meet this person's need, versus I'll get them started and make them mold into my agenda and swim over or move over and up the stairs to this greater thing called chiropractic lifestyle. So if you want to have an extraordinary business, go more than halfway, because going halfway is not far enough.